It was just another mind-numbing afternoon in AP Calculus, but hey, it was Friday, last period before the weekend, and spring break was breathing down our necks. The whole class was fidgety, phones buzzing under desks, everyone dreaming of freedom. No big test today, unlike my buddies in other sections who were sweating bullets. Our teacher, Mr. Harlan, a chill guy with a beard and a penchant for dad jokes, decided to kill time with some online trivia on Sporkle. We were deep into a pop culture quiz when my pal Jake nailed the answer, Nike. That's when it hit. The principal's voice crackled over the intercom, strained and urgent, like he'd just seen a ghost. This is not a drill. Initiate lockdown procedures immediately. A shiver ran down my spine, goose flesh prickling my arms. Mr. Harlan's easy smile vanished. He bolted to the door, flicked off the lights, and herded us to the far corner behind the lab tables. We huddled there in the dim glow from the emergency exit sign, hearts pounding in the silence. 2 minutes dragged by like an hour. Then, the low hum from the AC vents died. The power grid must have been shut down school-wide. We exchanged wide-eyed glances. This wasn't some false alarm. Whispers started, but Mr. Harlan silenced us with a finger to his lips. That's when we heard it, a guttural howl echoing down the corridor, raw and unhinged, like something ripped from a nightmare. The voice grew louder, closer, a man's ragged screams. I'll slaughter every last one of you. Footsteps thundered, erratic, slamming into lockers with metallic crashes that vibrated through the walls. 2 girls, Emily and Sophia, buried their faces in their knees, sobs escaping despite their efforts. The terror was contagious. My chest tightened, breath shallow, as if the air itself had turned toxic. The pounding shifted to our door. Fists hammered like thunder, the knob rattling violently. Open up. I know you're in there. The wood groaned under the assault, and Emily let out a piercing shriek that cut through the room. The banging intensified, frantic, as if the intruder was clawing to get in. Shadows danced under the doorframe in the faint hallway light, and I swear I caught a whiff of something acrid. Sweat, rage, madness. Time stretched into an abyss. It felt like we were trapped in a void, waiting for the barrier to shatter. Finally, the assault relented. The screams faded down the hall, dissolving into distant echoes that left an even heavier silence in their wake. My mind raced with visions, blooded hands, wild eyes, a figure lurking just out of sight. 10 agonizing minutes later, though it might as well have been days, the principal's voice returned, shaky but composed. He laid it out. A deranged transient had burst into the front office, assaulting the receptionist so brutally she fled into the parking lot, screaming for help. No one knew if he was armed. Rumors flew about knives or worse. This was back before the school beefed up security with cameras and metal detectors. The place was a sitting duck. They'd swept the building, hallway by hallway, classroom by classroom, but came up empty. Resume classes, he instructed, but keep doors locked. No one leaves under any circumstances. We tried to pick up where we left off, but the trivia felt hollow, our laughter forced. Every creak in the old building made us jump, eyes darting to the door. The real nightmare unfolded that night. One of the custodians, old Mr. Vargas, was mopping the back wing when he cracked open a storage closet for supplies. There, curled in the shadows amid mops and bleach bottles, was the intruder, passed out, reeking of booze and filth. Protruding from his jacket pocket, the cold gleam of a .357 revolver, loaded and ready. Vargas backed away, heart in his throat, but must have made a noise. Maybe the door hinge squeaked, because by the time cops swarmed the scene, the man had vanished like smoke. Slipped through a service exit, they figured, into the night. To this day, none of us from that class know if they ever caught him. Sometimes, late at night, I bolt awake to Phantom pounding on my door, wondering if he's out there still, watching, waiting, his screams echoing in the dark corners of my mind. I tell myself he's getting help somewhere, locked away. But deep down, I know the truth. Monsters like that don't just disappear. They linger. It was a bleak October morning at Westbridge Middle School, the sky heavy with rain-soaked clouds that seemed to press down on the world. Lunch was split into 2 periods, first for 6th graders and half the 7th graders, second for the rest of the 7th graders and all 8th graders. I was in the first lunch, picking at a soggy sandwich in the chaotic cafeteria when 4 earth-shaking booms rattled the windows. Thunder, I thought, fitting the miserable weather. But then the room exploded in screams, kids toppling chairs, trays crashing to the floor. Campus security stormed in, faces drained of color, shouting, "Move! Into the auditorium, now!" Those in line for food had to abandon their lunches, half-eaten burgers and fries littering the floor. My friends, Liam, Ava, and I, were swept into the auditorium with a flood of other students, the air buzzing with panic and confusion. The auditorium was cavernous, its back wall a massive glass panel overlooking the front lawn. As we piled in, guards yanked blackout curtains across the glass, plunging us into a dim, suffocating gloom. Adults guarded every exit, their eyes darting, hands hovering near radios. Liam, never one to sit still, asked a guard what was happening. He returned, face pale. "There's a lunatic across the street, in one of those creepy old houses. Barricaded himself in, screaming he'll kill himself and the cops if they try to evict him. He's been watching the school, staring at kids like a predator." He paused, voice dropping. "He's a registered sex offender." We were trapped there for over an hour, the air growing thick with fear and whispered rumors. A shotgun, a history of stalking, cryptic threats painted on his porch. Through a sliver in the curtains, I saw police lights pulsing in the rain, SWAT teams moving like specters. When the principal finally announced the situation was contained, we were marched back to class under watchful eyes, but the tension never left. Later, my friend MIA, who lived across from the school, shared a chilling detail. Last Halloween, she'd seen the man in his window, carving his arm with a knife, smearing blood to write, "Stay away or die." She'd thought it was a sick prank, until now. Years later, I'm 22, working as a tech intern in the basement of Westbridge High. The basement is a maze of flickering lights and dusty servers, but the IT office is a haven. Sleek desks, a flat screen, cold AC. My old teachers, Ms. Carter, Mr. Patel, Mr. Nguyen, helped me land the gig. But at night, alone down there, I hear things, scrapes, thumps, like footsteps in the shadows. The janitors whisper about ghosts, and I brush it off. But I can't shake the image of that man, his bloody message, his eyes on us. They never found him. And sometimes, in the dead quiet of the basement, I feel like he's still out there, waiting.